was the mother of the Virgin Mary. Her name is Greek rendering of the Hebrew Hannah, meaning grace. All of information concerning the names and lives of Saint Joachim and Anne is derived from apocryphal literature, the Gospel of the Nativity of Mary, the Gospel of Pseudo Matthew, and the Proto-Evangelium of James. Naturally, there is plenty of room for scholarly debate about these saints. We are presenting here the most common version of this amazing story of God's love for the mankind. Ismail and Elohi, the parents of Anne, lived in Nazareth. They had inherited from their parents the tradition of discipline and continence in married life. When Ismail, the firstborn of Ismail and Elohim was a daughter called Sobi. But this child did not live for more than a few months. When Ismail again pregnant by God's blessings, she was given a revelation at night. She saw an angel beside her bed, writing a letter on the wall, M. After 3 months, Ismail gave birth to Saint Anne, who came into the world with the sign upon her body. At the age of 4, Anne went to live in the temple, remained there for 12 years, and returning to her parents at the age of 16. A year after this, Ismail fell mortally ill. As she lay dying, she spoke to all her relatives, presented Anne to them, the future mistress of the house. Then she spoke once more with Anne alone, telling her that she was a chosen vessel of grace, that Mary and must seek counsel from the prophet of Mount Herod. Then she died. Anne, remarkably simple and childlike pretty, she prayed perfectly to God to obtain a good husband. The family of Joachim lived in Nazareth as well as they were very poor. Joachim was just a holy man. Who had knowledge of many mysteries and holy scriptures. He was a humble man belonging to the line of King David. One day, while Anne prayed to God for a good husband, Joachim too prayed with the same request. The angel Gabriel was sent, announces the divine decree of both of them. To Anne he appeared while she was engaged in prayer. When she saw the angel, she was frightened at first. He told her to continue to pray for the coming Messiah, and that it was God's will that she accept Joachim as her husband. The angel appeared to Joachim in his sleep and told to accept Anne as his wife. When Anne was 18, she married Joachim and they lived in her father's home for 7 years. Anne's father, Illicit, who had very wealthy, divided goods with them. Anne gave birth to her first child. They named her Mary Helly. Mary Helly was born prematurely and was inconsolable over this, fearing that it was her fault. In meantime, the couple withdrew into privacy to begin their married life. They moved into a new house of their own. The sick child lived with her grandparents to be taken care of. They lived in a way pleasing to God, hoping to bring down upon His blessings, which they so earnestly desired above everything else. Every year, they would take the stock of their wealth and divide into 3. The best and the choicest portion was driven off to the temple. The poor was given the next best one. And the least good they kept for themselves. Each time they divided their heads and goods, and by the Lord's blessing, everything quickly increasing again. In spite of their wealth, they lived frugally, observing periods of self-denial and fasting. Soon after, their neighbors started speaking ill about them, saying that they must be bad people, since no children were born to them. They also said Mary Helly lived with Anne's parents, was not really Anne's daughter, otherwise she would have the child with her and had to endure much from the insolent maidservant who bitterly taunted her for her sterility. Each time they heard these harsh words, the couple became more and more sad. For 19 years after the birth of their first child, they lived thus devotedly before God, in constant yearning for the gift of fruitfulness and with an increasing distress. One feast day, Joachim went to the temple to offer sacrifice to the Lord. He was harshly rebuffed by the high priest, who rejected his offerings, told him that the childless couple were unworthy to present themselves before God. Joachim left the temple with great shame. He went to the Mount Hero and did not return home for many days.